So this study was by Loftus and Palmer, 1974, the theory of reconstruction memory and eyewitness testimony. The aim of the research was to investigate whether the use of leading questions would affect an eyewitness's estimation of speed. Now there were 45 students participated in the experiment. 45 students participated in the experiment. They were divided into 5 groups of 9 students. 7 short films of traffic accidents were shown. These films were taken from driver's education films. When the participants had watched a film, they were asked to give an account of the accident they had seen, and then they answered a questionnaire with different questions about the accident. There was one critical question which was asked the participant to estimate the speed of the car involved in the accident. The participants were asked the same question, but the critical question included different verbs. 9 participants were asked how fast were the cars going when they hit each other. The critical word hit was replaced by collided, bumped, smashed, or contacted in the other conditions, which each had 9 participants answering the questions. The researchers predicted that using the word smashed would result in higher estimation of speed than using the word hit. The independent variable was the different intensities of the verbs used in the critical question, and the dependent variable was an estimation of speed. The main estimates of speed were highest in the smashed condition, that is 40.8 mile per hour. The lowest in the contacted group, 31.8 mile per hour. The results were significant. The findings were that the more intense the word that was used, the higher the average estimation. In a second variation of the study, 150 students were randomly allocated to one of the 3 conditions. Participants were asked only one of 2 questions, either how fast the cars were going when they smashed or when they hit each other. A third group, the control group, was not asked anything. The participants were asked to come back a week later, and without re-watching the video, they were asked one of the questions. Did you see the broken glass? Yes or no? Now, the results showed that those who had originally had the question with more intense verb smashed were more likely to recall seeing broken glass than those that had the less intense verb hit. Number of participants recalling broken glass in experiment 2. So Loftus argues that when the different verbs were used, they activate schemas that have a different sense of meaning. When the question is asked using smashed, the connotation of the verb influences how the memory is formed. These 2 studies were controlled laboratory experiments, so we should question whether there are problems with ecological validity. The situation is quite artificial, which lowers its external validity. When watching a video of a car crash, one does not experience the emotions that one would experience when actually seeing a real car accident. Thus, emotion or stress, which are conditions normal for eyewitness, are absent in her research. There may also be a problem in using closed questions where people have to answer yes or no. In addition, all of the participants were students, which means the sample is biased. The research also begs the question of how well people are able to estimate speed. This too may have had an influence on the results. The leading question is what? That I frame my question or I frame my statement in such a manner that it influences your answer. Now in this, what happened in this experiment, the participant was asked, there were 45 participants, and they were shown a picture of cars hitting each other, an accident. Okay. The question that they were given were different. To some participants, they were asked that at what speed the car was hit each other. Okay. Now here the word hit is given. Some of the participants were asked question, what was the speed of the car when they smashed each other? And the third were given, what was the speed of the car when they contacted each other? Now here, this is a leading question. Why leading? Because the experimenter is using a different verb each time. When you say hit, in your schema, in your past knowledge, as per your knowledge, hit means hitting. Okay. Smash means smashed completely. It's like more than a hit. It's like completely smashed. Okay, it's more stronger word. And when somebody says contact, it's just contacting. It's not hitting, it's just contacting. So this word contacting, smashed or hitting, according to our schema, it has a different, influence on us, okay, on our understanding. So when this kind of question was framed differently, that is, it is a leading question, the answers are also influenced by this question. People who were asked that what was the speed of the car when the cars smashed each other. So smashed itself is a leading term where one thinks that the speed of the car must be much higher. That is the reason they smashed each other. So you're likely to give a higher level of speed. So they gave 40 point something mile per hour. And when the experimenter asked that what was the speed of the car when they contacted each other, so it didn't smash, they just contacted each other. So contact itself means that they are just touching each other. So according to our schema of contacting is not too hard, it's very, very subtle. So automatically it is influencing your answer, and you're likely to give a speed or guess a speed of a low speed. So they gave an answer of 31.8 something miles per hour. So that is a lesser speed. So it clearly shows that how leading questions can actually influence your memory. So it can actually, reconstruct your memory. Okay, so this was experiment 1. After that, in experiment part 2 of the same experiment, in part 2 they were called after a few weeks, and they had not rewatched the video. They were asked if they saw broken glass. So it was seen that people who were asked the question how this car smashed, what was the speed when cars smashed each other. So smashed itself, like I said, is a very strong word. They said that yes, the glass was broken. And the questions and the participants whom were asked that, what was the speed when the cars contacted each other. Contacted means it didn't really smashed each other. It was just contacted, just kind of touching each other. So of course, it is a very subtle, it seems like it is a very subtle contact, and the speed was low. So those people said, most of them, that they did not see any broken glass in the movie. So that means whether the glass was broken or not broken, that is not the question. The reality could be anything. The thing is that how leading questions and how it can actually have a reconstruction of the memory, how you tend to remember things because of your schema. So your schema, your imagination and everything is distorting your memory. So hence reconstructive memory, our memory is not reliable. Our memory is always being influenced by the cognitive processes.